curious to find out what programs and career pathways are available for the high school student who's less interested in doing the typical four-year university route, much more interested in getting more quickly and directly into the workforce? If so, then this is the Job Talk episode for you. My name is Brandon Evans. I'm the Chief Workforce Development Officer for the county, ETR's director, but you can just call me the Jobs Guy. And today we have the man leading the charge on this front, the Kern High School District's very own Scott Odlin. Scott, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to get into all the amazing programs you guys run, but let's give the audience a chance to learn a little bit about you. Can you kind of just take us back? Heard you were kind of not that bad of a basketball player or something. Can you take us back to that and kind of bring us forward with your career?
Sure. So currently I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Ed Services for the Kern High School District. Yeah, back to basketball is taking us back quite a ways here. Back in, played basketball long ago in high school. Several of my friends and I still around town here played for a long time, over 30 leagues and other kinds of things like that. Had the opportunity to do a lot of stuff in college as well, especially around the different programs in college. And I think that's probably what got me around the career path that I'm on now. In working with kids in basketball camps and things like that growing up, it kind of that was the first push to, hey, I really liked working with kids and was originally in engineering and sports broadcasting. Loved sports since I was younger, so my dad always called me Howard Cosell. I was reciting NFL stuff all of the time. So I kind of went into general studies in college, and then after doing a lot of basketball camps and things like that, I was gravitating toward teaching. So had a degree in PE and math. Went the math route, ended up, some friends were down here, moved down to Bakersfield, and I've been here since 1999. So in 26 years, I've had a lot of opportunities with the Kern High School District. I was a math teacher and a coach, coached at East High for a long time with Milt Henderson, legendary coach, and his son JR. So when I was playing basketball in high school, I remember JR being on the cover of Sports Illustrated. So it was kind of a wow moment for me, getting to work with his dad. And then transitioned to administration in 2007, and I've been an assistant principal, director, principal at Stockdale High School, and then in several other administrative positions up to Ed Services. And so now our division runs a lot of the programs in conjunction with the principal, Brian Miller, at CTEC and ROC, and a lot of the CTE programs throughout Kern High. Post-COVID, we opened the CTEC building, the new CTEC building. So that was our second large center that we have now. And so it's really allowed us to expand a lot of our programs.
All right. So thank you. Again, we're going to spend a lot of time going into some of these programs and the value that it is to the students, and how do they get selected, right? There's going to be parents that are going to watch this, and how does all that magic work? But before that, I just as you reflect on your own career, lessons as an athlete, is there anything that you think, because do I participate in sports? Do I not? Because my career is one area, maybe sports gets in the way. Do you think your athletic background helped or hurt you in your career?
Sure. Yeah, I think it's always very helpful. The biggest thing I think that matters when you go into any of the careers, and what I think people in the workforce are looking for now is people who can work together. Right. You got to be able to work as a team. That team aspect of athletics really builds you up for that. There's also pressure, the pressure of performing, whether it's a short period of time over the course of a game, free throws or three-point, in basketball. But by the same token, you're making a long 2-minute drive in football, and it's the last 2 minutes of the game, and you have to get in field goal range. You have to score. So I think the pressure's there. But aside from the team aspect, you also get to see a lot of leadership qualities in there. Who can lead the team? What individuals step up in some of those positions and show leadership skills. So there's a lot of tie-ins that I think in my life helped me as I was navigating into teaching, even through several other careers or other small odd jobs that I have, that I always was able to, work with people,
Right.
navigate those
Right.
kind of relationships.
Right.
And, you get coached hard sometimes at different levels, and you have to be able to accept feedback.
Yeah.
So
yes, yeah.
we all want our employees to improve. And, I myself need to improve it in other areas. And so you have to be willing to accept feedback and also want that feedback to be able to improve.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there's the verbal feedback from a coach, or sometimes even the crowd at the game offers some feedback. But then there's just, what your stat line was at the end of the game. Know if you hit the free throw or didn't, if you made the 3-pointer or not, if you turned the ball over or not. And I think there's something so valuable about that personal assessment that you just get used to making. I not as tall as you. Wrestling and baseball were my sports, but there's that kind of direct feedback that in the work world means your boss doesn't always have to give it to you, because if you performed well, that if you kind of mess something up, and then you can reflect on that and do better next time.
Yeah, I always think of now, if I was going back 30 years in today's world, I would probably be in the analytics world.
Right,
I'm always interested by, in basketball, the plus minus.
Yes.
How are teams performing when these specific individuals are grouped together or on the floor. And so in the work world, or productivity in, my line of work, what teams, when they're put together, give us the best productivity, plus the plus minus, what has the most impact on student learning, on teams working together, collaborations in our PLCs.
Yeah, and it's huge. Some of us as sports fans or whatever, we're all about the passion, but those analytics, they make and break things all the time. Like, again, I'm a baseball guy, and the idea of how many times a batter walks, versus grounding into a double play. Sometimes it's better to accept ball 4 and get on first than it is to try to knock one out of the park and, end up, knocking into a double play.
Yeah, sabermetrics for baseball was pretty much the start of analytics.
Yeah. You got a bunch of really, really smart guys, maybe not always the best athletes, but they're making a ton of money behind the scenes figuring that out. So let's just kind of get into the meat of this a little bit and see where this goes. I'm better than most, but not everybody knows that we have in Kern County, we have a state-of-the-art pioneer program where, I don't even want to put a number out there. Maybe of all the programs that we have that are career-focused in nature, that are under you. Can you just start us talking about that?
Sure.
What is a high school student in the Kern High School District? What are these opportunities like? Can you give us a range of these things and just what that looks like for the student?
Sure. So obviously coming in the high school, you have a 4-year experience. Usually freshman and sophomore year, you're working on some of your grad requirements, finding some areas of interest. We have, there are many students that come in like this from junior high and elementary school who know what their path might be, but there's also many who don't. So kind of like my path, which we talked about, was it sports broadcasting? Was it engineering? Was it teaching? Not really sure even after high school. So I think the idea is to offer a broad range of experiences for kids. We want to offer something for everybody. We want an opportunity, if this is an area either that you're interested in or an area that you've shown a lot of proficiency in,
Right.
That you're good at. So with the opening of our new CTEC, we also remodeled our ROC. We have programs from culinary. There's multiple auto programs from diesel mechanics, auto mechanics, also body work. Construction shop is over at that facility as well. And I think a lot of people think of CTE as those, plumbing, some of the trade skills.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of those. But we also have stuff on the robotics side, right?
Yeah.
We have robotics. We have a lot of stuff in industry with health careers, intro to health careers. It could be medical billing. It could be nursing assistant. So that when we can get people into health careers, There's an an intro level for health careers, but also they could progress through that to maybe they want to be an RN, maybe they want to be a doctor, and continue to progress through those different programs. We have cosmetology, we have fire science.
I want to go get my hair done, by the way.
Yes, Barber College, vet science, where they do dog grooming as well. So I can take my doodles down there so that they can groom them up, although they bark too much. So can't bring them in there all the time. And so, there's robotics. There's now video production, digital, game development type programs, IT staff that work for the district also provide opportunities in classes for our CTech students to do network cabling, all sorts of different things like that. So there's dentistry. There's a range all over in both of those facilities, and some are specific to each. As we get programs that are becoming more popular, that are full, what we try to do is find opportunities at a site for some of those, as well as offer those at multiple sites. A wide range intro. Usually those are open to juniors and seniors primarily. We do have some programs that are senior only, and some programs that, because of certifications, require longer hour requirements and may start into the summer prior to their senior year. But as much as we can, we articulate those with our local partners, whether it's BC, CSUB. One of our newest is sports medicine at the CTech facility, and that is articulated with CSUB so that we can send students directly over into that program. And so with a lot of these programs, that's our end goal. We also have too many business partners to list, and that is a big factor in what we do.
Right.
So you'll notice when you and I have been on a recent visit, when you go there now, a lot of our students are out in internships second semester. So they learn a lot during the first semester, and then the second semester, like our pharmacy tech students, they're out in local pharmacies all over town right now. Usually Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, getting real experience with our partners, and we have tons of business partners in town that are willing and excited to have our students out in their businesses, and it gives all of our students great real world experience outside of just the classroom experience that they get the first semester. So we're really appreciative of all the MOUs that we sign and have in place with all of the organizations throughout town. Yeah,
that's incredible because, so I'm better in the work world than I was in the classroom. and yet so many people think they want to do a job and they go to school for it and all this, and they get in the job and they don't like it for whatever reason. And so that real experience, hands-on, here we're training you to do this, but go do it with a real employer. That relationship is just incredible.
Yeah. I think it really helps, like you mentioned, with some of the stickiness too. Yeah. You think you like a particular industry, whether it's teaching, whether it's this, then you get in a classroom or you get in a pharmacy and you've decided, well, this isn't really for me. Right. Before you've spent multiple years of college knowing that you want to maybe do this, and then find out at the end of schooling that it's not really for you. So I think that hands-on real experience with all of our internships really helps to develop that with students, to that stickiness of, yes, this is a career path that I want to go down.
Yeah, and I really want to help those that watch this to understand how unique this is, right? Because you're rattling off all of this, and you're probably only hitting 50% of these programs, right? But we have folks coming from all over to come in and learn in the educational realm to learn about the program. Can you give us a little taste of that? Who comes to see? What are they looking for? What takeaways do they get?
Sure. So as Dean McGee, Dr. Dean McGee, who was the assistant sup before me, he helped kind of the design and the idea behind the CTech, expansion there. And so there was a group of them that went all over Arizona, East Coast, looking at different programs to kind of bring what would a state-of-the-art career tech facility look like, and what would it contain. And so, over their time doing research, looking that up, and then obviously into the construction phase of that, a lot went into that. And now, after it's been open multiple years, there's other districts in California, as CTE's funding through the state, through CTIG and other funding sources has gotten larger and larger. And other school districts have wanted to offer that kind of opportunity. We have hosted many conferences, as well as just visits to the CTEC Center. A lot of it is community partners from here, but also industry partners outside of town looking to partner with school districts that are outside of town. We've hosted, Los Angeles Unified, Anaheim, schools up north, but we've also hosted many that are out-of-state schools who have come to look at that facility as they're, in the same kind of design idea that we were, 10 years ago, trying to figure out what we really wanted to do to make it state-of-the-art. So if you went to CTEC right now, there's likely an administrator or a group of students hosting a tour and going around. And we have our ambassador program at CTEC. So, and at ROC, where if anybody would like to go on a tour, we have those student run a lot of the time. So we have a group of ambassadors that at any time can go take students around. Obviously, they have classes to take, so we rotate those. It's not the same every single time, but the students do great tours, show people around. Our administration and staff at those sites do as well, and we are constantly hosting tours and visits from a lot of different people from a lot of different areas.
Yeah, and that's really cool that you hit on the ambassador piece. I think that's worth a little moment of pause, because we think of we think of the technical skills and learning how to do nursing or culinary or robotics or whatever it might be, auto body work. But then these ambassadors really kind of highlight to me the emphasis on soft skills, because these are the local leaders in their various areas. Can you just how does one become an ambassador, and what are some of these additional duties, responsibilities that they have?
Yeah, so that's sort of the leadership component. And as you mentioned, there was a big focus, and Mr. Miller really led the push on that, the principal there at ROC and CTEC. And they are big on soft skills, and that's one of the things he's emphasized. They've gotten curriculum, worked with all the staff to integrate soft skills into a lot of their curriculum. Because we've noticed there's a lot of industry partners that we've partnered with that would tell you, I can teach the networking. Right. I can't teach them exactly what we're talking about with athletics. I can't teach them how to work in a team or how to do, some of the other things that are necessary. So those soft skills are super important, especially when the internships come up second semester and they get to put those right into use when you're at a pharmacy. And, every person who comes in to pick up their prescription is not always happy about the situation that they might be in, or if it's delayed. And so they get real world experience. Absolutely. So, that learning on the job, and some of the on the job learning is a lot more important than a lot of the bookwork behind the scenes. And those soft skills really come into play in those cases. Yeah, no,
it is fantastic. Whether you're a mechanic and people aren't showing up because they're happy, And that soft skills are so important. Let me ask this. If I'm a business and I'm listening to this, and there's all of these opportunities for this hands-on experience, how do I get involved with some of your students?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always encouraging businesses to get a hold of us, either at the district office through my department and the assistant soup's office, but also you could reach out to ROC or CTEC directly to those programs, and to Mr. Miller, who's the principal at CTEC. Right. We constantly have industry partners and meetings with our industry partners, and a lot of those are in different categories, whether it's automotive, culinary, to try to expand opportunities to send the kids to. We always have, culinary students who graduate, and some are at Fragati, some are at Sorella's working, some are, that go out in the industry, but having that experience during their coursework really helps, to kind of pad their resume to be able to get them out into the work world as soon as we can.
Yeah. And then with regards to culinary, they will serve food to the public, right?
Yes, the ROC Cafe is open.
Yeah.
It is open second semester, so once they've done the teaching side, both that and
That's
and
good.
yes,
I'm glad they're doing that first.
yes, and the cafe at 1600 for the adult
Yes,
school
that's right,
also
that's right.
open at the other center. ROC Cafe is open. They have a bakery and they have sit down. They have takeout. You can call in and do takeout. So it's in full operation right now. Tuesday through Thursday, I believe they have partial mornings going on Fridays with some of the other stuff. But yeah, the different hours for both of those cafes are posted on the website as well at kernhigh.org.
kernhigh.org, and we'll get that posted. So a couple more questions, and then I think I'll let you off the hook. What are there any successes that you can highlight? Because to me, this is really where it's at. There are so many students that kind of feel pressured to go I'm going to go get my psychology degree or whatever, but this like real hands. And I know that I know it's competitive. Mm-hmm. What is there, some 42,000 students,
Correct.
But how many slots do you have roughly?
Sure. So right now, in most of the programs, obviously you have about 30 in a class, 35, depending on the class. We also have opened for some of those impacted programs some night classes. Right. So we do a morning session, an afternoon session, and a night session, which allows us to get a few more students in. We can usually try to service about 2,000-ish, students through all of those programs. But last year's applications was 6,200. Which is moving forward gives us, hope that, hey, maybe there's still a need, adding more programs, facilities on the horizon is, one of the options that we would be pursuing to try to give opportunities to as many students as we can. We had an industry meeting in a recent year when I was in the meeting with Mr. Miller. And one of an IT company that's in town told us, "Hey, I prefer to hire my incoming workforce directly from our CTech program that our IT team teaches." So that was interesting to hear, and exciting that And he did cite, like we talked about earlier, a lot of it is the soft skills. Sometimes he's hiring, trying to find people from, out of town at the colleges. Okay, they have a computer science degree. Right. And he's found it more difficult than just hiring directly out of one of our CTech programs, and has been really happy with the students that he's gotten directly from the program to train up. So there's many situations like that. Hopefully a lot of ours stay home, get on with Kern County Fire Department from the fire science program. Right. Fire science up in Lake Isabella to help with wildfires there. We have a dual enrolled courses with Saracosa that we work with up there. And BC obviously is a great partner of ours with many, many dual enrollment and certificate programs that we work with them on.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was wondering if you were going to bring up Lake Isabella. A mutual friend of ours, Alan Paradise, I think he had his hand in that.
He did, yes. He started the fire science program up there. And many of those students getting hired directly into the Forest Service up there to help with hopefully hazard mitigation and making it safer up there for all of the residents.
Yeah, and something that's near and dear to my heart is kind of highlighted by whether we're talking Bakersfield or Lake Isabella and other regional areas, is when we can get our local kids connected to local high-paying quality jobs, they don't have to leave. Yep. And this idea that, we call it, the brain drain and all this stuff, and some of our best and brightest taking off. Well, they don't have to. And that immediate connection, whether it's IT or mechanics or whatever, that ability to get them connected with employers, get them going, and they start their careers and then they stay.
Yeah. Ideally, some of those areas we try to work with partners in town. Right now, a big push in multiple sectors of healthcare because we're Kern County's one of the lowest in California, and California is behind in the ratio of our healthcare workers to our population. And so trying to get more programs, we have many programs in that area to try to continue to push into, with the assistance of BC and CSUB, and get hopefully residency programs here for doctors, because usually the research shows when you do your residency in an area, they usually stay there.
Yeah.
So we don't want our students to be going out somewhere else to nursing school, off somewhere else to get those degrees, where they stay there and then they're not coming back to service the community.
Yeah, no, that's huge. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of what you guys do that I personally would not get myself involved in, but I don't know what they call dummies or whatever, but the fake patients that they work on,
yes.
They're way too lifelike.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah. Yep.
But I'm glad the nursing students enjoy it.
Yeah. Last visit, I think when I went over there, I think we were over there, and the fire science had an obstacle course.
Yes.
And, it was 30 years ago for me. I'm not attempting that obstacle course once I saw it there either.
Yeah, it looked really intimidating, kind of enticing, but yeah, maybe 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So, want to finish with this. You guys do annually just this incredible event, the Career and STEM Expo. Can you talk about it?
Sure.
Some of the magnitude of its size, et cetera, whatever you want
Sure.
to say.
So yeah, that's grown. That allows for a lot of business partners to be able to come out, have a booth, allow students to see what they do, for the community, but as well as what their company does, what kind of opportunities there are for many of those companies, what kind of jobs exist in Kern County, things that are moving, industries that are moving into Kern County. There's many of those that are represented. We've had well over 100 booths set up at CTEC. We bus students there, so there's thousands of high school students, hopefully a lot of juniors and seniors, that are already in some of our programs, that are there already and are looking to use those skills and possibly even get jobs in some of those industries each time. So there's a lot going on. There's stuff in the MAC upstairs, in the Innovations Hall downstairs, where we have speakers that are coming in and doing presentations aside from just the booth. So, it's a fair-like atmosphere out there all morning, usually about 8 to 1.
So you have the drones out there?
We usually do have the drone program out there, taking some overhead shots. And so... Yeah, as long as we will not have flyovers by our aviation program likely this year. They are also doing ours though. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's one of our largest events out there at the CTEC, and it's a great event to allow any community partners access to be able to talk to students, show them what their particular companies and industries do, and hopefully connect students to jobs.
Yeah, and I think that's so huge. People don't apply at places they don't know exist. People don't think about jobs they don't know exist. And that eye-opening experience, having been there and you see the kids interacting and, kind of truly the eyes opening up to all the things. You guys have the I'm going to say law enforcement, first responder vehicles out there and all that. But it really does, there's a lot of opportunities. Not everything has to be go get your psychology degree and then figure it out after that. And I just love it. So you've mentioned a couple things before. Let's ask again though. How does somebody, if I'm a parent or I'm a business, just one more time, how does somebody get connected and
Sure. So applications usually start, I would say, when you start thinking about freshman year, even start thinking about a program that you may want to go into. Usually by about sophomore year, you will start seeing, all of the students will start seeing the ROC and CTEC techs out at their sites at lunch. They set up tables at lunch at every single school site that we have. Meet kids, show them the program, show them where those programs exist to get interest with our younger students. And then they can apply sophomore year to start going at either a junior or a senior to one of those programs, depending on the year. So, depending on the program, whether it's a junior or senior year program, some are either or both. So yeah, all of the program listing is on our website at kernhigh.org. If you go to the ROC or CTEC, there's a flyer on there. It also shows which are offered at each campus and which programs are offered in the evening as well. So there's an opportunity if your student's taking classes all day still to also do a program, an evening program instead. But yeah, those opportunities come around. The application There's limited spots, obviously, per site, but the applications usually go out, and we're trying to fill all of those spots from now until the end of the school year for all of our next year juniors and seniors.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. So if you're a parent and you're interested in your student getting involved in this, if you're a business and you're interested in getting involved with this, what we have here in Kern County with the high school districts program is just amazing. It's the envy of other areas, and we should be very, very proud. It is at the core of what we try to do in terms of getting young people ready for the workforce. And so with that, we'll sign off. But just remember, when you're talking jobs, talk job talk.